Hello, welcome to the Troubadour Theatre here in Wembley. Today the fighters will face off for the very final time ahead of a monster night of boxing at the SSE Arena on Saturday night. Our show is headlined by Chris Eubank Jr. and Anatoli Muratov. Delighted to say we have Carl Froch and Johnny Nelson. Good to see you guys.
Oh, I feel like I put a bit of weight on because I'm struggling to get in these chairs. I don't think I'm able to get out.
That's all right. You can sit down for this bit. We're not making you move up, otherwise you'll be taking the chair with you. Carl, how good is this? Quite the occasion.
I'll tell you what, it feels like a public weigh-in. It's so busy. I'm looking around and, if you're early starting in your career like some of these guys are on the undercard, only had a few fights, it's quite a big occasion for them. So this will get the nerves going for them for tomorrow. So it's a good thing.
Johnny, we last saw Chris Eubank Jr. in the ring, was 5 months ago. A really good win for him against Marcus Morrison. How much are you looking forward to seeing on Saturday night?
So I've said many times before, I bumped into Roy Jones Jr. It's not what people say to your face, it's what they say about you behind the back. And he was raving about Chris. It was just a casual conversation, no cameras there, no mic there, just having a cup of coffee, a bit of breakfast. And he was raving about the improvements of Chris, because he was basically saying the engine of Chris, the energy of Chris, accompanied with the boxing ability that he's showing him. He stretched him out, showed him how to use the jab, use the ring, take his time with the fight, which is why he dragged the Mark Morrison fight so long, because he wanted to see what he learned put into action. So he really rates him, and I think for Chris, I actually see for the first time him respecting the man he's got in his corner, which is a good thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he looks like on the scales as well. Right, we've got a stat card for you. Let's get our weigh-in underway then and hand you to your MC, Buddy Johnson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Troubadour Theatre here in Wembley, in England. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for the official weigh-ins of Boxer, brought to you in association with Wasserman Boxing. Welcome, everybody. What promises to be a phenomenal event tomorrow night at the SSE Arena here in Wembley, London, England. Before we begin, today's weigh-ins is sponsored by Wow Hydrate, the official hydration partner of Boxer, Bet365, Everlast, and Sports Direct. And, of course, sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control with Chief Inspector Nigel Thomas and Chairman of the Board, Charlie Giles, in attendance. And before we begin, a big thank you to our founder and CEO of Boxer, Ben Shalom. And now, it's time to begin with the official weigh-ins of Boxer. Introducing first, a contest in the Flyweight division. Please welcome Adam Yahaha. Adam Yahaha, 31 years old, standing 5 feet 1 inches tall. His record stands 21-6-2. And he weighed in officially at 141 pounds and 8 ounces.
This is a chance for these boys to shine and really, because it's a new stage, a new elevation. So one or two might be like rabbits in the headlights because the pressure's on them, but it's a good thing, especially at this stage in their career.
It's such an opportunity, Carl, on the big stage for them to shine.
Most definitely, in front of a Sky Sports
Adam Yahaha weighed in
you
2
always want
pounds
to put a show
over,
on.
has 1
And these guys
hour
early
to
on in
make
their
weight.
career, or wherever they are in their career, they want to be putting a show on this kind of a stage. So hopefully this will bring them up to that level they need to be at.
So Harvey, Johnny, he's 25 years old. It's still early days for him. He's 8-0. What are you looking to see from him tomorrow?
Harvey Horn, still early days for him, an elite amateur. A lot's expected of this young man coming through, but it takes time. And he's at that weight where he could be boxing for a world title any time soon, because flyweight, of course, it's not that depth that's steeped in opponents, but it's in excellent condition.
We spoke to Harvey yesterday, and he's a really, really good talker. And I asked him, because the lower weights, typically, they don't really get as much spotlight shown on them, do they? And I think he really feels like this is his chance to shine a spotlight on that division.
And it's about nearly every one of the fighters, it's a chance for them to try and steal the headlights, be the man. And so it doesn't matter, or woman, so it doesn't matter what weight you are, you know, you've got a chance to be the star. We saw it back in the days with the likes of with Prince Azim Hamid running it, and he was a lighter weight. So these guys know there's an opportunity there, and there's a gap there for them to take heed.
And Carl, both look in great shape.
Yep, both looking fantastic shape on the weight. Look at that 8-pack. It's been a long time since I've had one of them hovering around the midriff.
That's not true. You still train. Harvey, of course, trained by Mark Tibbs as well, Johnny. So
Sorry,
Harvey got Mark Tibbs in his corner as well, a really good trainer, experienced trainer.
Mark Tibbs, obviously, we remember he was well involved with Dylan White for quite a while, and I've got a lot of respect for Mark Tibbs, so it's a good start, it's a great start.
Stefan Nikolai.
So this is Reza Ali versus Stefan Nikolai. 6 rounds at super bantamweight tomorrow night. Reza Ali, what a story, Johnny.
You know, it's an amazing story, and with Stefan Nikolai, whoever he is, he's had 1 fights, he's only won 3, but he's got... Fraser Ali's got somebody in there that knows his way around the ring, that knows how to all-man someone, that knows how to pull the fight out on you. So it's a good fight for Reza. You know, it's his 4th professional fight. He's unbeaten. So it's just a case of how he negates his way around opponents like this. Yeah, and Reza's only 21 years old as well, so he's still young to try and... where is he?
And what's the game plan, Carl? Like I say, still young, early days. Is it just to get some rounds, some more experience under your belt?
Yeah, he's only had 3 fights, Reza Ali. He's a really likeable character. Everyone who comes into contact with him gets on with him, enjoys his company. So, you know, potentially, with the television behind him, with his style and his likeable personality, he's got a bright future. But he's got to do the business in the ring.
There's a great... He has got a great story. You know, this young man is so grateful to be in this position, considering what his life was like outside the ring. And he walks about respectful to everybody, wants to do a job, nice character, very intelligent, articulate. And you like to see that in a young fighter.
And a great platform as well. A great platform to perform on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I'll keep saying it. Every fighter on the bill has a chance to steal the limelight. This isn't the Chris Eubank Jr. show. Every fighter has a chance to nudge your way through, get notice, and build that fan base.
And then just talk a bit about that backstory, the great backstory. I mean, Reza was sleeping on the streets, wasn't he, several years ago? You can't quite believe it.
And he tells the story freely. He said, look, you know, I've been there, I've been at rock bottom, and there's not many fighters that have been in his shoes. So when you get in the ring with him, remember that you're not just fighting a fighting man, as in with gloves, and you're fighting a man that wants to fight regardless, has to fight, has learned to survive when he's had to.
And coming up next, on the official weigh-ins of boxer here at Travelers Center, in the middleweight division, please welcome Ujo Renozzi.
So Ujo Renozzi takes on Linus Udofia tomorrow evening. 10 rounds at middleweight, and a real breakout fight from Linus Udofia last time out.
Renozzi's had 20 fights, 17 wins, only knocked 4 out, so he's not a banger, but he's a winner. He's used to getting in there, getting the wins done. So, and at middleweight as well. Again, I'm always intrigued at what's at the stage of fights like this at middleweight. He's 29 years old.
And his official weight, 155 pounds and 13 ounces.
He's inside it.
Well in the weight there.
And now welcome his opponent, Linus Udofia.
I mean, Carl, Linus, he always looks in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, well, look at the state of him here. I mean, great body on him, but he takes the sport seriously. And he's looking to do big things. In his head, he can go quite far. So, you know, the reason he looks so good is because he takes the sport seriously. It's as simple as that.
And former English champion as well.
And Linus officially weighed in at 158 even.
Inside that 160 limit. We have a fight, Johnny.
We have a fight. Is he walked off? Is he doing a head-to-head? He's pretty tall for the weight as well. Where's he gone?
Linus has actually made no bones about it that his next fight, he wants Felix Cash. That is his goal.
This is how they've got to talk. They've got to talk about the fights they want, because if they don't, they're never going to. It's going to be harder for them to get the opportunity and easily be forgotten or passed over. Rodolphe's tall, rangy, 28 years old.
What are you looking to see from him, Carl, tomorrow evening?
Well, you
Linus.
mentioned the Felix Cash fight there. That's a great fight, and it's that'd be a tough fight and one we all want to see. Whether it happens, politics in boxing, won't go into that. But what I'm looking to see from him is just dominance, and what he does. He boxes well, and he looks to punch as well with his backhand. Quite solid. Just a nice, clinical, solid performance for him. And just maintain that unbeaten record.
In the featherweight division, introducing Vida Masciocati.
So Ebony Jones makes her professional debut tomorrow night. An exciting night for her. She takes on Vida Masciocati. 6 rounds at featherweight. Spoke to her yesterday, Johnny. She seems pretty relaxed to say it's her professional debut. She seems to be taking it all in her stride.
She didn't get somebody that said 16 fights. She knows her way around. Only got 2 wins. So we got to ignore that right now in this fight, because this is Jones's first professional fight. So therefore, she's in with someone that's professionally confident.
127 pounds and 4
Middleweight. And so for Jones coming through now, this is a big deal. It's a platform, an elevation into the pro ranks. Good amateur. Wants to take that success all the way through. British stock.
Solid part of Team GB.
Yeah, the British stock, there's great inspiration there for her. She's come with a nice little team, nice close-knit, very quiet. She actually reminds me of Katie Taylor. She didn't really talk that much.
I can see
really
that,
quiet.
I can see that. And an interesting backstory, an unusual backstory. She was in the army, and she's got a HGV license.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
God, she do really well right now. Giving away height, obviously giving away reach. So this will be about ring craftsmanship, and again, she's in with somebody that's boxed 16 times as a professional. So it'll be interesting how she negates this, because you're gonna have to get in with fighters of this all shapes and sizes.
It's a great time to be part of women's boxing, though, isn't it, Carl? It's
really
gone from
is,
strength to strength over the last couple of years. And we've got Savannah Marshall in a couple of weeks' time up in Newcastle. Clarissa Shields as well signed. I mean, that potential fight between Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields, if that happens, well, we hope it happens, will be absolutely massive. A super fight, in fact.
Well, there's no reason why it won't happen so far.
Yeah.
There's every possibility and everything put in place for these guys, these girls, to get this done. And they both fancy it as well, so I suppose it's the business in the show that stops it.
We're just waiting for Ebony to get a tracksuit on and make her way over, and she's going to hopefully grab a word with Andy Scott. This is all exciting for her, though, isn't it?
First
all
time.
new, yeah.
She's in big school.
Yeah. Here she is. Ebony is with Andy.
Ebony, just come one step closer so I can see. Long-awaited professional debut, one step closer. You got the weigh-in out the way there. You looked in great shape. How did you feel on the scales?
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay. Any nerves ahead of tomorrow night? It's a big platform. It's a big stage. You only get one professional debut.
No nerves at the minute, to be honest. I'm more nervous getting on the scales in front of so many people. I mean, I've never done that before. But I'm just excited for tomorrow. Show people what I'm about. I might look a bit girly, but I'm not when I'm in the ring.
You're an elite amateur. What do you want to show us when the first bell rings tomorrow in the professional game?
Like I said, just show what I'm about. I mean, I'm aggressive. I'd like to think I'm an exciting fighter to watch. And people might sort of look at me and doubt me in that way, sort of change their minds.
At the same time, you've got to make sure you enjoy it. You only get one professional debut.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy it. 3 years out the ring, couldn't ask for a better debut. So I'm just going to take every opportunity and make the most of it.
Ebony, wish you all the best. Go well.
I love that. I think that's my favourite answer yet to Andy Scott. How are you feeling? Yeah, good.
She's a baby.
Short and sweet. That's all you need.
Next up, 6 rounds in the super welterweight division between Isaac Arye and Joe Pickford. Introducing first onto the scales, Isaac Arye.
Interesting fight, this one, Carl. A real chance for Joe Pigford to push on Saturday night.
And that's what he needs to do. He's had a long break out of boxing. You know, a lot of people have. And this is a big opportunity for him back on Sky, back in the mix. So he'll be looking to put on a show.
Cocky fight yesterday when he was talking. He wants to come in here with serious intentions. 17 fights, 17 wins, 16 KOs. He can bang, and that's what he talks about. I want to knock people out and get this job done. So I like the noise he's making, believe it or not. I like the noise he's making because it makes him either loved or hated, makes him a target or something to be avoided.
Yeah, he seems extremely motivated because back in 2019 he was on the brink of some really sort of quite big domestic fights, Carl. That didn't happen, gone away, come back, and now he wants to make up for some lost time.
Exactly, yeah. So he knows this is his opportunity now to put a show on. You got Ted Cheeseman, the British champion. That's a great fight. You know, he's in the mix with some good names in this division. So he knows it's really important tomorrow night to come here and put on a show and put a performance on for himself more than anything else.
And how tough a test is Isaac Aye for him?
Okay, 35 fights, 26 wins, 24 of those by knockout, so he can punch. So you look at that record. So the problem is, if he's underestimated or the respect isn't given when they're in the ring, we'll see why he's got 24 knockouts out of his 26 wins, only been a distance twice, obviously. So Pickford now has got to be on his game, you know, because now these are the fights that nobody wants, you know, and so he's got the height, Pickford. He's got the reach, serious intentions. They've been very, very stern all week, Team Pickford. So, yeah.
Well, Pickford can't overlook A on Saturday night, but what's the goal, do you think, for him? A British title, would that be a realistic goal?
It's every fighter's goal. I hope that's not just his goal. I hope he wants bigger than that. You know, you want to use British title as a stepping stone, along with you do it the traditional way, Commonwealth, European.
In this, the English super middleweight title eliminator between Jamal Ledoux and Jermaine Brown. Introducing first to the scales, Jamal Ledoux.
So Jermaine Brown versus Jamal Ledoux, 10-round eliminator for the English super middleweight title. Now this has the potential to be a cracking fight, Carl.
Potentially, yeah. I could talk about myself in this one, if you wouldn't mind. This is the old English title that I fought Alan Page for. Similar age as well, 27-year-olds fighting for the English title. The English title you've got to take serious because it's a stepping stone then towards British title, and then the old-fashioned way was English, British, European, then on to world honours. So this is a big opportunity for him here to get a belt round his waist and then crack on from that. So I'm looking forward to this.
And
one.
He's in there with Ledoux, who's 9 fights, 8 wins, 4 KOs, so he's no pushover. So again, at this stage here, these guys want to get through to that next step, get through to the British title standard, and showing at the age they're at, you know, they're at a serious 29 and 27. This is important because you can't really want to be afforded to lose at this stage for this level of fight if you want to do something with your career.
Well, I'll tell you who does rate Jermaine Brown, and that is your old mate, George Groves. He's been sparring him. He rates him highly. Yeah,
I can remember him saying, actually, he thinks a lot of Jermaine Brown, and you know, you've got to take that as a real positive, and that's a good compliment coming from Grovesy boy, my old foe.
For Ledoux, though, he's had a fair bit of time out of the ring, isn't he? He hasn't boxed for a couple of years, so this is a real chance for him to throw his name back in the mix.
And that's said many times. Some people, it's voluntary, they just walk away from the game completely. Some people just live in the gym. And so for Ledoux and Brown, both these guys, there's no excuse, regardless of how much time they've had out. They've had time to prepare for this. Roughly about the same height, roughly about the same stage in their career, age-wise, everything's pretty even, pretty good. I remember Cole being at this level, and I think he boxed my friend Damien Haig just after that, and he broke a few hearts in Winterbank. So you know, it might not mean a big thing to world stage, but at this level it means a lot to gym mates and people like that.
And as a fighter at this level, you take them serious. I remember I boxed a guy called Mike Duffield for the area title, or the English title, one of the area titles. Then I stepped up and fought for the English title. And you know, when you're a young aspiring professional, the area title and then the English title, it's not really well thought of by people in the press and the media. But as a professional boxer, it's a belt. It's round your waist, and you're a champion of England. And then you step up. And, you know, it's all a stepping stone towards great things potentially.
I never won.
Well, Jamal and Jermaine are ready to talk to Andy, so let's hear from them.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We're billing this one as a real 50-50. Presumably, neither of you see it like that. Jermaine, come to you first. Tell us why you win this fight.
Stronger, faster, smarter.
What sort of fight can we expect from you? I know you're not going to want to give your game plan away. You're shoulder to shoulder with him now, but when that first bell rings, what can we expect from you?
It depends what he comes with. Whatever he decides to do. If he's going to come fight on the outside or he's going to come forward, I'm just going to adjust to it and I want to work the way.
Jamal, we know you're going to disagree with all of that. Tell us how you win this fight.
Whether it's boxing, whether it's a fight, I'm ready to needs to be done what needs to be done. So, yeah, I'm excited for Saturday night, and let's do it.
Eliminator for the English title. A lot of people saying this fight could steal the show. Do you believe that?
I believe this should be for the English title, but it is what it is, and yeah, I hope it does steal the show.
A hell of a lot of respect between the two of you. Have you got a final message for Jermaine?
Just best of wishes. May the best man win.
Jermaine, same to you. Have you got final wishes for Jamal?
No, just the same. The best man win.
Full of respect. When the first bell goes, we'll see what happens. Good luck, lads.
If ever there was a sign of two fighters absolutely ready to fight, that was it, right?
Well, I actually like seeing Andy in the hot seat when they're giving him short, sharp answers, as though they're upset with him. But he handles it well. But you've got two fighters that are at the stage where they want to... do you want to just fight now?
That's the thing. When you get to this stage, the weigh-in, the talking's done, isn't it? I guess it's, in your eyes, you just want to get in there and do the business.
100%. I mean, I always find them little interviews they're a little bit awkward. You know, I don't envy Andy being stuck in the middle of them asking the questions, because they just want to now get back, get some fuel inside them, get rehydrated, have something to eat, and focus on tomorrow. But you could see the little bit of tension there, wasn't there? So that'd be a good.
The body language you could read into the arms folded.
Exactly.
So, Johnny, your old division, Cruiserweight, Michael Awal versus Benoit Hubert, this one.
Yeah, Moal, I'm very familiar with Moal as well. He's a big unit, and I've seen him spar with he's used as a sparring partner for a lot of the heavyweights. Now, this guy can fight, but he just seems to have slid under the radar now. So this one here, this might be his coming out point to say, you know what, I want to be in this mix again. I want people to consider me when you talk about the likes of Richard Riakporhe, Isaac Chamberlain, Lawrence Coley. So for both fighters, they want to try and make an impact.
Well, a while, he's actually sparred Usyk. I mean, what a performance we saw from Usyk on Saturday night, an absolute masterclass that he produced. But sparring the likes of Usyk, how much confidence will that give you, and how much will you learn, Carl?
Yeah, when you're sparring top professionals and you build up to a fight, I mean, you take massive confidence. I remember sparring Howard Eastman. People might not remember him, but he went on to challenge William Joppy for a world title. He fought Hopkins. And what I took away from sparring Howard Eastman was that, actually, you know what, I might be able to do something at world level, because I've just been in with him. And it was okay. So, yeah, massive confidence for him coming into this, sparring Alexander Usyk, especially after that win the other day.
And Anna, it does make a massive difference to a fighter's confidence when they're sparring with class, with world champions, because you think, if I can hold my home there,
isn't it?
Yeah, you think, if I can hold my home there, what can I do with people that are at my level? So again, it's interesting. You know what? Funny enough, these two are small at cruiserweight, and they're units.
Yeah.
But you look at the guys out there now, and they're just they're units.
What are you reading into that, Johnny?
I think, Marsha, listen, you've got two guys that have got their career on the line. There's no nonsense. You don't want to give anything away.
And coming up next on the official weigh-ins here in the Troubadour Theatre, live on.
You can't hear this, but Johnny's getting heckled. How much we miss the crowd, Johnny. How much we miss the crowd.
You know what? It's nice when you get little unexpected interruption like that. All right, son. Remember when you used to box? You weren't very good then either.
Well, from one cruiserweight battle to another, Richard Riakporhe versus Krzysztof Podolski. 8 rounds at cruiserweight tomorrow night. For Richard Riakporhe, 22 months he's been out the ring. He is itching to get back in there.
Riakporhe's completely changed everything about his boxing. His setup, his preparation, moved from London to Loughborough. He's set up like a mini AJ camp. He's got nutritionists, he's got peace, he's got everything there for him. And I've seen him up there. Very professional attitude, very professional outfit around him. It's serious business. I always like to see when a fighter is willing to take himself away from home comforts and commit to his trade. That's what Riakporhe's done, and he needs to. He needs that something to give him that edge. There would always seem to be like there was something missing whenever he boxed. Remember, he's been the current European champion now, and so now he's thinking, I'm above that.
That's the thing, Carl. He's beaten the likes of Chris Billam-Smith, but in this 22 months that he's been out of the ring, he's watched the likes of Chris Billam-Smith, Tommy McCarthy, people in his division that he's fought, beaten, move on and push on. How frustrating is that for you as a fighter?
Yeah, frustrating, but in his head he knows he can get there, he knows what he can do, so he'll take confidence from that. He's just got to bide his time and make sure he gets through these fights in style, but he's a big puncher, he's quite wild and ungainly, a little bit like Lawrence Okoli actually, who's the WBA champ in the same weight division. But
I've seen him spar.
I like him.
Yeah,
What's
I've
he
seen
like,
him
Johnny?
spar. His jab is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's like a thudding right hand, and he's starting to let go of that right hand a lot more now because his right hand he's got some serious power in. But he's one of those guys that at the moment or previously what we've seen of him will only let it go when he's sure it's going to land. Where now he needs to let it go because he's got to anticipate the movement of his opponent.
Also, both fighters made weight. And I have to say, Richard looks in phenomenal shape.
Always
he always does, doesn't he?
Yeah, always does.
Working well as well with Angel Fernandez.
Sorry?
Working well with Angel Fernandez.
Yeah, Angel Fernandez is such a nice guy.
He spent the layoff honing his skills. He hasn't wasted it.
And Angel Fernandez was travelling back and forth between Sheffield, working with Anthony Joshua, and Loughborough working with Richard. And I'm quite sure, obviously what happened last week with Anthony Joshua, he'll give a pep talk to Richard, say, look, this is what you're going to avoid happening. This is what you've got to implement.
Well, also for Richard, he's seen the likes of Lawrence Okoli produce a stunning performance on Saturday. Yeah. World champion, defended his WBA world title successfully. He'll be wanting a piece of that. Where does Richard fit in that kind of scene?
Well, there's no reason why he can't mix it with them kind of guys, but he needs to keep winning. He's got to come through these fights against a fellow Pole who's had 6 knockouts out of his 9 wins, so he can bang a bit. So he's got to be careful, but it's just important he keeps performing, and eventually time comes on your favour, and if you keep winning, you can't be ignored, and I think he'll get his chance.
Remember, he's 31 years old now, so he needs to take every chance that comes to him, because at this stage in his career, time's going to tick by, and by the time he gets the opportunity, he may have passed his best. So there's decent domestic fights out there with the likes of Isaac Chamberlain and people like that. These are the fights you've got to have to get to that next level, to say, right, European title, I'm going to bypass that. I think he's probably looking at trying to get a world title shot next year.
Well, let's hear what Richard's got to say. Hey, he is just making his way, doing a fist bump, going around the circle. There you go. He's with Andy.
Riak is back. You looked ripped and ready, 200 pounds on the scales. Are you ready to go ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming, and we put in a lot of work, so expect some fireworks tomorrow.
Long time coming, December 2019. It feels like a lifetime for us. Does it feel the same for you?
Yeah, it actually does. But you know what? We was working on our craft every single day in the gym, taking no days off. So it's going to pay off tomorrow.
Presumably there's a degree of frustration that you've watched your domestic rivals progress. Is that frustration going to come out tomorrow night in the form of a devastating victory?
To be honest, boxing is a sport of self-control. So I have to take, I have to make sure that I'm doing what me and my coach have planned to do. So, but yeah, maybe. You never know.
Let's give him a shout out, your new trainer, Angel Fernandez. What do you really want to show us? Yes, a devastating first round knockout is great for everyone, but presumably you want to show us what you've been working on behind closed doors.
Exactly. You know what? This is my time to shine. I want to enjoy the moment, just take my time. And if he makes any mistakes, it's going to be game over.
There's a lot of talk about building towards world-level fights, but complacency is key in this sort of fight. You don't want to look past your opponent. How do you guard against complacency?
By doing the work. The fight is already won before we step in the ring, so I'm really confident. It's just how I'm going to win. That's what goes through my mind.
Yeah. Will you give us a final prediction before I let you go?
KO within 6.
Good luck.
Big statement, Johnny, there. KO within 6.
I actually believe that. I actually do believe that because I know he has that ability to do it. And a lot of fighters like this, you know, the ability is there, but it's actually putting it into practice.
We introduce first the challenger, Liam Taylor.
So Avanesian's European welterweight title is on the line tomorrow night as he takes on Liam Taylor.
Yeah.
I've got to stop looking at things and then come in my brain. You know?
So it's his mandatory defence.
Getting old, Johnny. Getting old.
Join the club.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's his mandatory defence.
Yeah.
Avanesian is that guy that's avoided, unfortunately. That's the guy that people develop amnesia about talking about because of the hellfire he released on Josh Kelly. And Conor Benn was you were telling me that you saw an article by Conor Benn in regards to Avanesian.
He did an interview on IFL TV and he said Conor Benn said that Avanesian is high risk, low reward. So what he's saying, you're not going to get much reward from fighting him but he's European champion, so kind of, you know, the European title is quite a good reward, especially because it gives you that world ranking. But still, it just shows that he's respected in the game. After that win against Josh Kelly, he gave Josh Kelly a horrible night's work and ended up beating him, and that was a shock defeat. So Avanesian is flying high on confidence. So this is a tough fight for Liam Taylor, but like I said earlier, an opportunity for him to become European champion, which is a great belt.
Absolutely, like you say, a huge opportunity to really upset the party, Johnny, and we have seen some almighty upsets over recent months.
We have, and you know, it's the expectation, and obviously it was an upset when we thought it was an upset when Avanesian beat Josh, and so now it's Taylor's chance to see if he can bring the upset to Avanesian. I don't know. All I know is that Avanesian is so narrated, so tough.
He's flying at the moment as well.
Yeah.
But where will Liam see Avanesian's weaknesses?
He hopes he can take him by surprise. That's what it'll be, because usually when you're the champion, you're the hunted, you're the one that's been people are eyeing you up for years and trying to figure out how they're going to beat you. You're aware of that challenge, who's hunting you 6 weeks before you fight. So Taylor's probably been doing his homework, thinking, he's probably just had more time to develop a game plan to beat Avanesian. The thing is, the responsibility of being a champion is being able to keep all these people at bay and beat them inside such a short space of time.
The challenger, Liam Taylor, takes on the defending European welterweight champion, David Avanesian.
Don't be fooled by what you see. Avanesian, the shorter of the two.
I was going to bring that up. Could that be an issue?
No, because it's work rate. That work rate was a work rate that beat Josh Kelly. That work rate is a work rate that has got him to the position he's at now. He's got an amazing work rate. And
you shouldn't underestimate as well the amount of confidence that David Avanesian is bringing to this fight as well.
No, he's a champion and a proud champion. He walks around with that air of confidence because he knows what he's done, he knows what he can do. And Liam Taylor's battled long and hard to get in this position.
He's waited a long time.
And he's mandatory, he's been made mandatory for this European title, so he deserves to be here. So he now needs to take his shot. He's 30 years old, and he does belong in the same ring there as Avanesian, and he can cause an upset. We could be looking at a new champion, but it's going to be a great fight.
Very much looking forward to it. Well, Liam Taylor's just having a swig of fluid, walking over to Andy. Let's hear from him now.
Liam, you're a big welterweight for getting that water in. You've worked very, very hard to get yourself in this position. Just how determined are you to take your chance tomorrow night?
It's a massive opportunity for me. I've come from the small all shows, and I'm ready tomorrow. I've done the weight well. It's a matter of rehydrating and getting back out there now.
We think we know what we're going to get from David Avanesian, which is a hard night's work, a high work rate behind some very good boxing skills. What can we expect from you?
Very similar, a little bit more upright, but I'll be there till the end as well, strong, coming forward. I think it'll be a good fight for the fans.
It's a day of destiny for you. You've worked very, very hard throughout your career, taken fights at short notice, worked hard to get in this position. What would it mean to you to win that title?
My first major title in boxing, which is mental. Been professional 10 years, I've only been beat once, I've avenged it, so it's a massive night for me tomorrow. I'm ready to grasp it and be champion.
Wish you all the best with it. Okay. David Avanesian and Carl Greaves, you could just come in and join us. The unlikeliest of teams. The Armenian-Russian training in Newark with Carl Greaves. A great pair. David, come to you first. You've got that belt. You'll be determined to keep hold of it. Just talk us through, how confident are you tomorrow night?
I'm confident for 100%. Is me not confident me not stay here, mate. I'm stay here for tomorrow fight only one, for keep my belt and go house. See my family, children, enjoy time. I have hard work for this fight.
Trainer Carl Greaves, we've been up to the gym. We know how hard David works. We know the sacrifices he makes. Just a quick word on the fight. What sort of fight can we expect from David and Liam Taylor? What have you prepared for?
Yeah, we're not underestimating Liam Taylor. He's a good fighter. He deserves his opportunity. But we're very confident. We feel David will get him out of there inside the distance.
Carl says inside the distance. Does it matter to you? Do you want to win this fight by knockout or points? It doesn't matter. Just win.
I know, think about KO stop now. Only need don't win. It's possible KO. I take my time.
Good luck, David. Thanks, Carl.
I like that, Carl. Possible KO. I'll take my time.
Yeah, just whatever goes, really. Well, there's a man with an air of confidence around him.
Just a tad.
Yeah, exactly. And Andy was saying about Carl Greaves, an unusual matchup, the Russian, and then Carl Greaves for Newark. I can remember walking in that gym in Newark, and Carl Greaves and Ishan Pickram was sparring, knocking 10 bells out of each other. I was only 15 years old then, and it's mad how times change and things come around. But what Avanesian's got in his corner there in Carl Greaves is a wealth of knowledge and experience in the amateur and professional game. And he means business, Avanesian. This is a really, really solid top operator at this level. I mean, he's a tough fight for anybody to get in the ring with. So Liam Taylor has got his hands full.
Well, we are on to our main event headliner for tomorrow night. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Anatoli Muratov. Chris back in the ring after 5 months. We last saw him put in a good performance, but he wants to show more tomorrow night, Johnny.
Yeah, he wants to show people what he's all about. He has that air of confidence, arrogance about him, Chris does, but he does it in a polite way. Muratov, he comes in at late notice. He boxed 2 weeks ago, coming off a win. He was to box next week, so he is fight fit. You know, even though he stepped in late notice. These are the banana skins. These are the guys that we're quickly overlooking because we've done our homework on the main fighter. And this, hopefully, Chris won't make the same mistake. You know, he'll switch that confidence. It's very hard not to lose respect or energy for an opponent when somebody steps in at late notice, and that's why you see so many of these fights going wrong for the headliner.
It's a late change of opponent for Chris Eubank Jr. He was due to be fighting Sven Elbir. Muratov has come in at late notice. How does that affect his preparations? How does that change things for Chris, or does it?
Well, it depends which way he's standing. Orthodox southpaw, sometimes you have to adjust the size difference and height. You've got to adjust your spine. But I think at this level that Chris Eubank's at the minute, he's going to be just looking at putting a show on and doing the business. It's all about the Chris Eubank show, you know, the showman.
How good are those gloves?
I actually thought to myself, he's got golf gloves on, but they're not. They're Superman gloves.
They are.
I'm getting some of them.
Could they
I've
be
got
finding
the
their way
PJs
into
to go
your bag,
with it.
Johnny, to go home? Confident, very, very confident. We worked with Chris on Saturday night on the AJ Usyk show, and yesterday we saw that switch flick, didn't we? It's fight time.
He's on fringe of touching distance of getting a fight for a world title. That's the challenge. So you look at the champions that are out there, and the one that he was shouting off the most of that obviously was Triple G, IBF champion. Chances of that happening, we don't know. It might be the same as fighting Andrade, Charlo, or whatever. But then Billy Joe Saunders is coming along and says, you know what, I'll fight him, but he's asking for a hefty purse. So does that stop the fight from happening if that money can't be generated? You don't know. Yeah,
but Chris has spoken. Like Johnny said, he wants the legacy fights. He wants the big fights next, Carl. Can't overlook Muratov. We've spoken about that earlier, about the upsets that are caused over the recent months. You cannot overlook Muratov.
No, you cannot overlook him. I don't think he will. He's he knows what he needs to do. He knows the game. His dad was a top guy, Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, we all know who he is. So he realises it's business and it's time to go to work. So he's not going to be complacent. There's no danger of that. But he does need to get a move on. At 32 years old, he lost to George Groves. He had that good win against James DeGale. Now he needs to be
2019.
Exactly, a long time ago. Now he needs to be tapping on the door for one of these major belts. I like the Billy Joe Saunders fight. He talks about Gennady Golovkin. There's a few fighters out there that he can definitely jump in and mix with. Can he win? Does he belong at world level? We don't fully know yet. I mean, the loss to George Groves was at super middle, so it's unfair to say he doesn't belong there. At middleweight, I think this kid can go a long way and he can win a world title. I'm looking forward to seeing him now step up to the plate and go on to world honours, because that's what we want to see him do.
Yeah, the thing is, he's made the adjustments to his career to improve his career. So if he'd blew to Billy Joe and go, if he'd not made any difference in adjustments in how he prepares for a fight, then why would it ever change? The adjustments have been Roy Jones Jr. Bringing Roy Jones Jr. into your camp, into your cooking pot, has made all the difference as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the relationship between Roy Jones Jr. and Chris Eubank Jr., he says it was a relationship that clicked immediately. And Roy, when I spoke to him yesterday, he said the brilliant thing about Chris is that he's a bit like he didn't use the exact words, but I'm going to say he's a bit like a sponge, basically. He's the model pupil. Whatever he says, he picks up, puts into practice. And he said it's actually, that's what it's all about.
I gather Roy Jones is the first coach he actually listens to.
Yeah.
Usually he goes in the gym and tells the coach what he's going to do that day. And that's never a good idea. So now he's in with somebody that tells him what to do, tells him how it's done. And this is why I expect an improvement in what he's doing.
All right, Chris is just heading over to Andy. Oh. I don't get a fist bump, I get a handshake. Let's hear from Chris now with Andy.
Chris, that's the weigh-in done, 163.4 pounds. To say it's been a challenging build-up is an understatement. How do you think you'll feel when the lights go down and it's just you and your opponent just before the first bell tomorrow?
That's when I'm at home. That's when I'm most comfortable. This is actually the hard stuff. Once the bell goes, I'm in my element. I'm doing what I do each and every day. So, I can't wait.
Boxing is never simple. It is a late change of opponent. Late change, but does the goal remain the same?
Absolutely. I'm going in there to make a statement. I'm going in there to take this guy out in devastating fashion.
You're talking about building towards a huge fight in December, but boxing is littered with late notice upsets. How do you guard against that tomorrow?
Stick to the game plan. I've watched the guy, I've studied him as much as I could, and I feel like I know what I need to do to beat him. I know his weaknesses, I know his strengths, and I'm going to exploit them.
Roy Jones has been over with you for the last part of camp. I don't want you to give your game plan away, but can you give us an insight, one thing that you and Roy Jones have been working on behind closed doors that you want to show us tomorrow?
Being an absolute barbarian.
Will you give us a final prediction before I let you go?
I'm going for the knockout, as always.
Chris, wish you all the best of luck.
Okay, appreciate it.
Seems ready, Johnny.
Roy's over there laughing in the corner, thinking, somebody's getting it. Would you like?
Giving us a wave. Relaxed. It looks good, doesn't it? I mean, early in the week he's made weight. I think he was in Nando's. Other chicken shops are available.
But what I'm saying, I keep talking about the team he's got around him. Yeah. Now, Roy Jones does not waste his time on rubbish. Now, he's happy with what he sees. He's happy with his interview. He's happy with everything that's happening in front of him. So if you've got a happy corner, you've got a happy fighter, happy corner. So he's just got to do the job what he's asked to do.
But doesn't that as well, Carl, highlight how important it is, the relationship with your trainer is?
Oh, 100%. Roy Jones was smiling at you, Johnny, but he gave me a bit of a dodgy look. I don't know what his problem is.
I forgot about you
I don't know what's going on. But can you imagine being Chris Eubank Jr. and having Roy Jones Jr. in your corner? I mean, bloody hell, what a fighter, what a man. Legend. I mean, so that's going to bring him on as well. That's going to stick him up to the next level in his mind. And Roy Jones knows the boxing game, the professional boxing game, inside out. And he's been there, seen it and done it. I mean, what a top fighter. So he brings that extra level to Chris Eubank Jr. And I think now it's time for him to step up and move on. He seems confident. He always talks well anyway. He's a showman. But, I'm excited about his future.
And he has dealt with, throughout his career, the pressure of the family name. He's dealt with that well, Johnny.
No, there's three fighters three fighters in the UK that are currently fighting that were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And they're always going to be criticised. They're always going to be, the fingers going to be pointed at, and it's going to be hard for them to get the respect of the hardcore boxing fans or the hardcore boxers. Junior's one of them. He's past that. He's got past that now. So now you're looking at him. You're forgetting about his dad. Yeah, you're thinking this kid he's a fighter within his own right. So he's fought battles we've not had to fight, and it's probably been harder for him because
but he still needs that world title, though. He still needs to get up there.
And it would be a shame if he didn't get that. That would be a shame. It would be a shame. I think he has the ability to do it.
I agree. I believe he's good enough. Yeah. I believe he's good enough.
But Chris is very much viewing this next chapter as the biggest and best yet in his career. Can you see that happening?
Yes, I do. I think he's, if I'm honest, I think at the age he's at, I think he's got 2 good years left in him.
He reckons, I think he said 4 or 5 yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
You're only giving him 2 years.
2 good years.
He's got a lot to do.
No, he's got 2 good years left in him. And then that's when he gets to the best. And then the other 2 years is when he starts to slip down the other side of that hill. He's got 2 good years left. So in that build of those 2 good years, he's going to make the most of it and capitalise on it big style.
All right, okay. I believe we're going to be hearing from Ben Shalom. He's with Andy Scott.
Ben, first fight in a 4-year deal. Your hope and expectations ahead of tomorrow. The weigh-in's done. How did it go for you?
I mean, we've been waiting for this moment for about 3-4 months, building with Adam. So to start tomorrow night is it's an unbelievable opportunity. We've got 4 years with Sky. We've talked about where we want to go with it. We want to have the best British fighters on Sky. We want to be investing in grassroots. We want to be bringing in the stars from Top Rank as well. And so to start on Saturday, I mean, we turn this event round in a few weeks. So to sell like we have at Wembley Arena tomorrow with Eubank on the card, Avanesian on the card, my favourite, my best friend Richard Riakporhe coming and finally getting his opportunity.
Riak is back.
He's back and he's ready to go for that Cruiserweight division. So it's got everything tomorrow night. We've sold out now, but on the screen tomorrow it's going to be a different experience. It's going to be new. It's going to be fresh. We've got a new talent team as well. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Let me just quiz you on that. Boxer, the feel of Boxer. Your big thing is to try and make things different. So what can fans in the arena and fans at home expect?
I think there's been a lot of work with Sky around innovation, around how to make it easy to understand, making the judging easier. It's a long process, but I think what you'll start to see is cards throughout the night that are very, very competitive. You know, we'll start with Richard Riakporhe, who's probably one of the headline names right at 7:30. Then we'll be into a European title fight with Avanesian Taylor. We've got Ebony Jones making her debut as well, and then into the main event. But I think what you'll start to see is 2-3 hours of proper entertainment rather than 5-6 hours of long undercards, and that will start tomorrow, but we'll see it in future events as well.
And are you enjoying it? You're riding the crest of this wave. There's not many grey hairs coming through yet, so you're doing okay so far.
Yeah, no, it's been a whirlwind experience. We're coming in. We've got Hearn on one side, Warren on another side, but we want to do our own thing on Sky. We've got a show every 2 weeks. We're in Newcastle in 2 weeks with Ritson, Savannah, Hughie Fury in a big fight, and then into Liverpool early November. So it's every 2 weeks, and with the Top Rank commitment as well, it's going to be an exciting time for boxing.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it tomorrow night. I hope you enjoy it as well.
Thank you.
Give him 12 months, the greys will start coming through working with us.
That head of hair is going to be completely grey by the end of the year. I can remember Brendan saying, would you ever be a trainer? I said, Brendan, I knew you when you had a full head of black hair, then it went grey, then it went bald, so no thank you. Okay. So pressure's on.
Okay. For Chris Eubank Jr. tomorrow night, what does he need to do? Does he need to go out there? Does he need to really make a statement, Carl?
I think, well, first and foremost, he needs to win. But because he brings this show with him and he's got this reputation with him as well. I mean, he puts pressure on himself by putting this show on, and the way he struts around, just the way he walks, his body language, everything about Chris Eubank Jr.
There's an aura, an air around him.
I like it though. I like it. I think he's very classy, and he does know that he's not had that amateur career that you'd want him to have to say that he's going to be a dominant world champion. But he's learning all the time, and he means business as a professional. And he takes the fights. You know, he gets in there. We talked about George Groves earlier, James DeGale. That James DeGale win. Okay, it was late in DeGale's career, but it was still a great win. And now we want to see him step up. So tomorrow night, we just want to see a confident, relaxed performance where we almost want to see a punch-perfect performance from people who are blowing the trumpet to become a world champion. But he don't have to do that. He just has to win and win in style, which I think he will do, and put his normal show on, because I love watching him. I'm a massive fan.
What happens then tomorrow night, Johnny?
I think he makes it stretch out a few rounds. I should say Roy makes him stretch out a few rounds. These are fights preparing him for big fights, for world title fights. So all the work they've been doing together, all the work they've been doing in the gym, he wants to see that he can put it into practice in the ring. I'd be very surprised if it's an early knockout. I would be very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him showboating a little bit, working on things, working on the jab, working on the right hand, working on blocking a few shots, then trying to get rid of him midway through the fight. Don't dismiss his opponent. His opponent is number 7 with the WBA for a reason, regardless if you know about him or not. So no fight season, especially at this stage, and he can't afford any slip-ups.
Cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Thank you, chaps.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow night.
I want to see if I can get out of this chair.
We'll film that and then pop it up. As the talking's all done, it is all about tomorrow night. Make sure you join us. We're going to be across all the Sky channels tomorrow. You cannot miss it. Be there Saturday night, 7:30 p.m.